Okay, and enhancing the eyes with Gimp. First thing you need to do is zoom in on the eyes. You can hold down Control and use this middle mouse button to scroll in. Spacebar will let you pan the screen. Select the lasso tool, this one here. Now feathering is going to depend on the size of your picture and the number of pixels. If you hold down the Control and zoom right in, you want it to fade across this kind of distance here. So that's from, if you look at the ruler at the top, 1150 to about 1160, so about 10-15 pixels. So you set the radius of the feather to about that, so about 15 pixels or so, just roughly. Hold down Control, scroll back out again. With the lasso tool selected, you just draw a selection around here by clicking at various points. I will go kind of midway between this black area, so about there. Again, this is not, doesn't have to be massively accurate. When you come to an area like this, make sure you stay just on the inside. And the last click on the first dot, that completes it. When you do it, you'll see the selection appear like that. I forgot to turn that off from when I was playing earlier. And we scroll across to the other eye, should it have another eye, and here make sure that this one here is selected. That adds to the current selection, so instead of replacing the one that I've just done, it adds to it. So make sure that little box there is selected, and do the same thing again, just draw around, roughly around the outside of the eye. Like that. You can now zoom back out so you see the whole picture, because it's easier to make the adjustments if you can see the whole thing. Now, we don't want this marching ants thing distracting while we're working on the colours, so you go to View and remove the tick from Show Selection. Those eyes are still selected, it's just not showing the outline. So now we'll go to Colours. First thing I would do is go to Brightness and Contrast. Turn up the contrast, which will darken the eyes, and compensate by adding brightness. You can scroll these two together till you get the kind of result you want. So we'll go about there. In the history stack up here, you can get the history by, if it's not shown, by going to Windows, Dockable Dialogues, and History, wherever it is, Undo History. That brings up this history, so you can flick back to the original. So that's the changes that were made so far. Then you can go to Colours, Hue and Saturation, and increase the saturation, depending how far you want to go with it. If you go too far, it just starts to look unrealistic, so I won't go too massive with it. About there, and that's the change. To save it, you can't just save, because it won't save as the JPEG, it will save as a GIMP image. So if you want to save it, go to File, Export As, and then because I loaded a JPEG, it's saving as a JPEG, and you can just select where you want to save it. I'll save this as edited. File size, I usually go about 75. quality about 75, and that's it done. Let's just pull it up. Pictures, edited. Oops. There's the original and the edited. So if I can bring these up side by side. That one there. And that one there. So there you go, that's how to edit them with Gimp.